Wood-burning stoves are a popular heating solution across the globe. One of the best brands out there is True North. True North stoves are made in America with high-quality steel and cast iron, and each stove meets the new 2020 EPA standards for emissions. These stoves are highly efficient, and their entry-level tube combustion system makes them a perfect choice for the first-time wood-burning appliance buyer. In this video, eFireplaceStore will take a look inside the True North TN10 non-catalytic wood stove and show you how to use it. We'll also look at the advantages and disadvantages of owning a non-catalytic wood stove. The specialists at eFireplaceStore are certified by the National Fireplace Institute, which means theirs is the knowledge you should trust when it comes to your hearth appliance. What's inside a True North stove? At the ceiling of any firebox is a small passage to the flue system that remains open at all times and allows the stove to draft. Just below the ceiling are rows of air tubes that direct the flow of oxygen for what's called secondary combustion. Below that, you'll see the firebox and walls of fire brick. In secondary combustion, the gases released by the burning fuel, but trapped by the baffle system, burn and create a curtain of flames that prevents all but the smallest, hardest to burn particles from escaping. Using your True North stove. First, visually inspect the inside of the stove. Make sure all the baffles are in place, the fire brick lining is stacked properly, and there's no damage to any of the secondary air tubes. Set the inlet air lever of the stove to the fully open position. Build a teepee or log cabin style kindling fire using fat wood or softwood kindling. Once the kindling has ignited, close the door, leaving a 1 to 2 inch gap. This provides your startup airflow. Monitor the kindling fire, rearranging and adding more kindling as needed until the flames touch the ceiling of the combustion chamber. A True North stove, like any non-catalytic stove, will need to warm to a hotter temperature before it's able to sustain combustion. In a smaller stove like the TN10, don't underestimate the value of a good hot kindling fire. Once the kindling fire has been burning for about 10 minutes, it's time to add logs. Use seasoned cordwood with a moisture content of around 20%. Don't add more than 2 logs to start. Open the stove door slowly to prevent drawing smoke into the room when you add the logs. The primary source of air to the firebox of the TN10 is at the front of the firebox near the floor. When adding logs to the TN10, be careful not to cover this area or obstruct it. When you're done, leave the door ajar again 1 to 2 inches. Keep tending the fire until the fuel logs ignite. Once you're sure they're lit and are burning on their own for at least 10 minutes, you can close the door all the way. Keep the primary air control lever in the fully open position for now. When you shut the stove door, the fire will rely on the stove's air inlets for all its combustion air. Once the stove has taken off, you can leave the door shut. Additional fuel logs can be added as needed, and the rate of burn can now be regulated by the air control lever. Putting the air control in the fully open position will give you a hotter, faster burn. In the fully closed position, you'll get a longer lasting but cooler burn. And that covers the basic operation of the TN10 non-catalytic wood stove. Now let's review some of the advantages and disadvantages of non-catalytic stoves. Advantages. Today, non-catalytic stoves are as clean burning as their catalytic cousins, and True North's entire current line of stoves are certified to meet the new 2020 EPA standards. Non-catalytic stoves generally have fewer moving parts than catalytic stoves in the same price range. With higher combustion temperatures, non-catalytic stoves can heat larger areas than catalytic stoves of the same size. And finally, mastering the startup process of non-catalytic stoves like the True North stoves is easy. Disadvantages. Although easier to start, fires in non-catalytic stoves typically take longer to take off and become self-sustaining than catalytic stove fires. Non-catalytic stoves are also more sensitive to your wood's moisture content than catalytic models are. A single load of wood in a non-catalytic stove won't last as long as it would in a catalytic model. And finally, you'll see a lot more ash inside a non-catalytic wood stove after a burn. We at eFireplaceStore want to help you appreciate just how easy to use and reliable these new True North non-catalytic wood stoves can be. So if you still have questions about whether one is right for you, our NFI Certified Specialists are just a phone call or email away. And for more details, have a look at the Wood-Burning Stove Buyer's Guide at eFireplaceStore.com, where you can also shop and continue to learn from our ever-growing library of articles, videos, and other guides. Thanks for watching.